my goodness. Oh my goodness. We're live. We're live, y'all. That's not the screen I wanted to show you. I've got a cat. I've got a Jammy Dodgers. And I haven't brought up YouTube yet on my phone, so I can see that people are chatting, but I don't know what anybody's saying. There we go. Hello, Najwa. Welcome. Welcome, Bow and Arrows and Indie Cryptid. Hello. It's your first stream right here, right? Indie Cryptid? Ray, hello, welcome. Hey, Leo, you working on a video right now? Oh, dear. Are you filming or are you editing, Leo? It's tough when you're fairly new to it. I don't know how long you've been doing videos, but I think you mentioned recently that it wasn't something you'd done a lot of. Hey, Ashley, welcome. Hello, Holly, welcome. And Linry, hello. I'm going to tell you what I'm not doing today. I'm not going to Dremel my nails into weird-ass mushroom shapes. That's what I'm not doing today. I think everybody that's here so far, except maybe Ghislaine, were at Linry's stream earlier, and oh boy, it came out so cool though. It was totally worth it. Oh my goodness! Hey Hoopsie, welcome. You let your intrusive thoughts win and chopped a full ass nail that had a tiny crack in it. I mean, I feel like that can be good sometimes. Sometimes you gotta chop it. Yes, Linry, I am a coward, and also I like having my nails long. Oh my god, Ray. It's Yaneli. Yaneli, welcome. Hello. Leo, you've been trying to get audio to work for you for a while now, so you're just buying a new mic. Yeah. I struggled. So I did, when I first started, my regular camera does audio, but the lens on it is so noisy when it autofocuses. And so my earlier live streams and videos that have sound, it's just like the loudest lens noises all the time, which is why I ended up getting a mic separate that kind of helps to filter out some of that. I think you can probably still hear a little bit of it, but it's not as loud as it normally would be. Yeah, Linry's an influencer, but I ain't doing that. Linry's stream started as a nightmare. It was really good. It's very funny, Ghislaine. It's very, very funny. It's a horror show, but it's very funny. But it turned out so cool. Like the end product, you really have to trust the process. It was a journey, but it was really cool. You told your husband about the Dremel. He said, didn't she hurt herself last time? Yeah, and she kind of hurt herself this time too, just not as badly. Oh, you work in AV, but you just don't have something compatible for your laptop. Oh boy. Okay, well, I mean, at least you know what you're doing in terms of solving the problem. It's just annoying to have to buy the correct things. Yeah, the lens noises are so annoying, Nicole. Drives me crazy. Okay, so today the plan, besides watching Jammy Dodgers sleep on the chair there, she's not giving us much of a show. The plan is to do a Black History Month Manny. I'm going to recruit chat. Hi, Nicole. By the way, I didn't actually say hello to you. Lens noise? Yeah, when you're pardon me, I'm sorry. When your lens is refocusing on a lot of standard cameras, when it refocuses, it'll make like weird like sort of noises, and it can be very loud. So if your sound is coming from your camera, if your camera microphone has the sound in it, or if your microphone is very close to your camera, when it's doing stuff, you'll hear the autofocus really, really loudly sometimes. And depending on, it's usually the lens itself that determines how noisy it is. The camera body, like the motor inside the camera, can also be noisy or like more or less noisy. But the lens itself is also contributing to that. So it depends. You love the Canon nifty 50 millimeter, but can't use it on camera mic with it for videos. Yeah. So my lens that I use with this is for like the live streams is a 35 millimeter. That was a used refurbished lens, and it's fine. But like it's nothing special. And it sure as shit not designed to be quiet. So anyway, yeah. So Black History Month, Manny, I'm going to recruit chat to help me decide what I want to do for my design, as we so often do. But this time around, I have a special restriction for myself. My special restriction, hey, Sassy, and hello, Snazzy, welcome. My special restriction for myself is that I am only using polish that comes from makers with black owners. Because it's a Black History Month, Manny, and I have a bunch of cracked polish. So, it's achievable. Goodbye, Jammy Dodgers. Well, it was nice while it lasted having a cat. She's left the room. So we have cracked polish. I've got a fair bit of their stuff. And of course, Monique is a lovely person. But I don't have any reds. How do I not have any reds? I have 0 reds from Cracked. I have a bunch of blue. I've got like 2, 4, 5 blues, 4 greens, some like browny orangey colors. I might actually say 5 greens. One's a borderline. A couple of pinks. No reds. No purples, although I could probably mix a purple. Yeah. And then I have 1002 nails. I've got a few polishes from her. So I've got like 6 polishes. Again, no reds. We're not widening the range of colors. I have a type. I have a few types, and none of my types are red. The issue is that I know Calabrian Pepper is a gorgeous red stream. I understand. Yeah, I could kind of mix a purple, not a very good one, but I could kind of mix a purple with, like, if I used these guys, I think I could get purplish. It's not gonna be as nice a purple as I could get if I had a red. But anyway, yeah, so I have 1002 nails. I've got like 6 polishes from them. They're all effects polishes, mostly shimmers, a couple of magnetics. I heard a rumor that Twinkle Tea's owner was black, so I have like 4 stamping polishes, a black, a white, a gold, and a silver. And I think the owner of Dimension Nails is black, but all that gives me is a bunch of pastels. So pickings are going to be a little bit slim in a few areas, but I do have a pretty decent cross-section of cremes. Yeah, cool tones only tonight, pretty much. Pretty much. I do have, like, okay, I have these, like, browns, which are beautiful colors. But yeah, it's pretty much a cool tone tonight, unfortunately. Also from 1002, I have a lovely brown and a lovely orange, but that's it for the warms. Everything else is like blues and greens. Do I want to confirm that rumor? I mean, if you have information on that, then that would be nice to know for sure, because I don't want to use anything if I'm not reasonably sure. Like, because I only read it in one place. You've been curious about 1002. You like their content. Yeah. So like I said, I only have a few of them. So far, everything I've gotten from them, I've really liked. They're nice, nice application. Like the formulas are all good so far. So no complaints. I will say the magnetics are a little bit subtle that I have from them, which for me is not necessarily a problem. I don't necessarily need every magnetic to be like really high contrast. Sometimes a subtle effect is nice. But it's something to be aware of that, like, sometimes I feel like sometimes people have expectations that are not even matched by what you see in the promo images. And then for some reason they expect it to be even more. And I don't know why that's the case. So no, I'm not going to confirm. I don't have information is what I'm saying. I have read it in one place. So I don't have information to confirm. So if nobody knows for sure about Twinkled Tea, then I can just leave them out. It's fine. I don't need to use them. So yeah, I was hoping that you were asking because you had information. You don't think they are? Okay. Not visibly black. Okay. All right. Yeah, I saw it in one spot, and it was the only time I'd ever seen it. It was like a comment on a post listing black-owned nail polish companies. So these others I'd know for sure because I see their faces on Instagram. All right, so we'll leave off Twinkled Tea for sure. All right, so that's the polish that we have. I can actually show you everything that I've got from Cracked. So you can get a sense of what I have here. Let me see. Let me bring up. So I've got some blues. Oh, let me get this light on as well. Helps slightly. I've got some blues. I've got some greens. I don't have any baby girl lacquer. Okay, so that's like my blues and greens and orange, and then I've got a couple of browns, a couple of pinks, and then a sort of slightly lavenderish gray and a slightly off-white. So that's my Cracked. I feel like it's important for you to have at least a vague sense of what I have in order to make the decisions for the stuff coming up. And then for 1002, I have these guys. So these two I haven't actually tried yet. I think this one is a magnetic. It's like a very subtle blue, sort of swampy green. And then the Distant West, this one I think is just a shimmer. Like maybe a multi-chromish shimmer. This one's gorgeous, Copperhead Road. This one, Steel Horse I Ride. Oh, I love this one. I just got this one recently. I also just got this one recently, Wild Sage. And then this one was the first one I got from them, Deeper Into the Unknown. It's a glitter. Hollow goodness. So that's my 1002s. I think I have one Gior maybe. Oh, because they use a lot of black content creators. I mean, that's fantastic. But I can see how that could cause some confusion for some people. People of Color Beauty, I don't think they went up. Well, maybe she, maybe she did. I'm not sure. I know she had a thing recently where she was attending some event or other, and she was going to have a bunch of her older, like, display polishes that she was going to be getting rid of. Hi, Spooky Mouse. Hi, Allie. So maybe, yeah, Maybe she has gone out of business. Let me check. Do I still have that Dior? Or did I destash that? Hang on. Hang on. I'm looking. It's Garden Path. Oh, I just found some more cracked in here. No reds though. I forgot I have a whole drawer of other cracks, but there's like a bunch more of them in there, but they're all like the special effects ones. I have like a bunch, but none of them are red. Bum, 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 bum. Yep, there it is. I have my one single Dior. I don't have any pie colors. People of Color Beauty is trying their best to get back up. Cool. Yeah, I hope that she's able to come back from that. It really sucks that didn't work out for her. Oh yeah, Vivid. Oh, is she in the area? That's cool. Vivid, I think I only have one. I think I have one that, if I can find it. Oh, wait, did I destash that one? Maybe I destashed that one. Yeah, I think I did. Okay. Oh, Yaneli, you're off. All right. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, Yaneli. We'll see you later. Yeah, Vivid, though, they have some interesting looking stuff. I should really get some more of theirs. That's cool that she's local, though. Okay, so this is the Dior that I have. I'm trying to remember, there was one other that I had. Yeah, there's a couple that I picked up at PBEs, like that were in like the the VIP bag. Like I definitely have a couple of pie colors from that, but I destashed them because they're all purple. And there was somebody else that I can't remember that I got in a box. Sheena? Does that ring a bell to anybody? Sheena's nail polish or Sheena's nail lacquer? Something like that. But that one I got in a box, and that one also got destashed. It's too much purple in these boxes and freebies. Anyway, okay, so that's my polish that I have to work with. So a little bit limited. Unfortunately, my stuff from Glitter Sis isn't going to get here until I think tomorrow, which will also not have a red in it, so it won't matter as far as that's concerned. So the other thing is the topic, the theme for tonight. So I had a few ideas. One of the things that I thought about was a woman named Katherine Johnson, who was one of the human computers for NASA. So if anybody here is too young and hasn't hasn't encountered this idea before. The original computers were people who did manual calculations, and so she was a computer for NASA. They had a thing that happened where, like World War II era, they needed, people to do calculations. And of course, most computers were women. The majority of computers were white women, because they were allowed to get degrees and were taken somewhat seriously-ish. But, wartime, there was so much more demand for other kinds of jobs, for women to take on other kinds of jobs. They ended up being forced to delve into a different pool of human computers. And so they made a whole separate branch, the West something, can't recall. Anyway, they made a second branch of human computers that was all black women. And this woman, Katherine Johnson, she's actually, if you've seen Hidden Figures, she was one of the women in that, was based on her. She did a lot of orbital computing for like the lunar module, for she was working on plans for a human mission to Mars. She was working on stuff for the space shuttle program. And she was instrumental in transitioning NASA to actual like computers, non-human computers. So, sassy, yet I have no purples from you. That's because all the destashing I do to people that come to my house. That's how you get purple from me, is you come to my house and I hand you stuff. Yeah, Hidden Figures movie. She was instrumental in all of that stuff, and was of course recognized far too late, but at least she was recognized eventually. So pretty cool person. Not sure exactly what I would do for a Manny for her. I could try to do a portrait of her. Yeesh. Could maybe do some like, spacey kind of stuff. Maybe some orbital mechanics. I don't know. The other idea that I had was there are a few pretty big deal black entomologists. And of course, this is something that is near and dear to my heart. I love me some bugs. So the University of Wisconsin-Madison has a little website, a little page where they have a feature celebrating black entomologists. And so it's just a few people that, sort of historically were very important. Charles Henry Turner, he was a big deal in eusociality. So the eusocial insects being like ants and bees and stuff that live in hives, in cooperative groups with a queen. So he was the first black author to publish parts of his study in Science magazine. Huge deal. He had like quite a bit of, he had to obviously, deal with quite a few barriers. And for a very long time, basically was just teaching high school. And doing research on the side while teaching high school. Published over 70 studies while teaching high school. Published over 70 studies of bees and ants and eusociality. So pretty big deal. There's also Sophie Lutterloh. And so she actually was... she was working at the Smithsonian Institute, not in entomology, had no formal training, was just like a really smart woman who was really interested in bugs. And and just sort of interested in excelling at anything that she did. So she started out as an elevator operator at the Smithsonian and took it upon herself to learn absolutely everything she could about the Smithsonian and, basically be like a tour guide and information dispensary from the elevator. After a number of years working there as the elevator person, she basically asked about a position in entomology, doing preparing insects. So there's like a lot of museums that have an insect collection. They spend just a ridiculous amount of time maintaining, restoring, processing collections of insects. And they'll have vast like rooms with shelves and shelves and shelves of just like dead bugs. like rows upon rows of the exact same species of bug from the same region taken in different years or whatever. So she decided this was what she wanted to do, and she started preparing and pinning specimens and restoring specimens and whatnot. And so she, in a single year, she basically restored like 300,000 ticks. And so her area of specialty ended up becoming ticks, mites, which are both arachnids, and then also myriapods, which is like your centipedes and millipedes. And she ended up identifying a whole shitload of new species during her time there, because one of the ways that you discover and describe new species very frequently in entomology is by close examination of things like the number of hairs on a particular femur of the bug, or like what their genitals look like weird shit like that through a microscope. So she ended up just making a huge impact on that field. And she has a species of mite named after her. So that is Sophie Lutterloh. And then the last one that I was particularly interested in was Margaret Collins. She's the termite lady. And so I'm trying to remember. That's right. She graduated high school super, super early at like 14 years old. She made a cross-country trip to Chicago, studied with Alfred Emerson, an entomologist who focused on termites. She ended up doing a PhD. That would have been a little later. So what was that, like in the 50s or something? 40s, 50s, I think. Yeah. So that would have been around the 1950, I think. Her PhD was on difference in like dryness tolerance among different termite species, which doesn't sound super interesting to me, but I bet was super interesting to her. But yeah, she was also a civil rights activist. And I feel like to some extent you couldn't be a successful Black person in a white field at that time without also being a little bit of a civil rights activist. But she was very much a civil rights activist within the scientific community, and was, driving people to and from work during the Tallahassee bus boycott and all that sort of thing. So she's been pretty vocal. She through the 50s, 60s, 70s, she was extremely active. And ended up going to Guyana in like the early 80s to work on native species of termites in that area. So she's published just a fuck ton of stuff on termites, which are kind of cool. Again, eusocial insects. But yeah, so she's the termite lady. So those are the people that I was interested in maybe profiling. That's a lot of talking I've just done. I hope that something appealed to y'all. So, do we want to do Termite Lady, whose name is Margaret Collins, Dr. Margaret Collins? Do we want to do Sophie Lutterlow, who was the one that identified a whole bunch of ticks and mites? Do we want to do Charles Henry Turner, Dr. Charles Henry Turner, who worked on ants and bees? Or do we want to do Katherine Johnson, the human computer for NASA? Should I make a poll? I'll make a poll. I will make a poll. Bum, bum, bum. Warning, the stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. Okay, so I will put what they studied because that might be easier for y'all. So I'm going to put Katherine Johnson as NASA. I'm going to put hang on. I'm going to put Turner, Charles Turner, as bees. I'm going to put Sophie as mites. And finally, the Termite Lady. I'm going to start poll. Yeah, they all did really, really cool work. You made a trip to the local burger chain, had a very sloppy P. Terry's chicken sandwich. Good but messy. What's P. Terry's? I don't know this. I assume I don't have it here. Might be a long drive, but you would take my purples? Well, anybody coming to take my purples probably needs to also grab some for Sassy. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes messy food is the best food. Especially with like the sloppy sandwiches. Sometimes it's just correct. Decision paralysis. Well, I think what it comes down to is, do you want me to be painting termites, arachnids, bees, and ants, or somehow figure out a way to do something with orbital mechanics and space math? You feel like you've seen me paint bees already? I mean, yeah. I've definitely painted bees. I've painted lots of bees. I've painted some ants. I don't know that I've... Hello. I don't know that I've painted mites or termites, but I've definitely... I don't know. Hello? What's happening? What's happening with my chat? Oh no, that's not okay. Why did you do that? Okay. For some reason, my Twitch thing just went a little bit weird, and it opened up something that I didn't want it to open. You saw P. Terry's all over Texas, but you never went. Listen, if you're in Texas and there's a kind of fast food place that's all over the place, you actually have to go into it because it's probably going to be good. Although if I'm in Texas and I want a burger, I'm going to Whataburger. Combine all the bug people, do a different bug on each nail. That's an interesting concept. Yeah, by law. By law, you have to try the good the good Texas fast food. But I would just avoid it altogether by going to Whataburger. Mites and bees are tied. Well, I voted for mites, so if I remove my vote, then bees won. Oh, you couldn't persuade your family to go. Okay, well that's a sign that you should ditch your family. I mean, not necessarily permanently, just like, you know, while that's happening. Here's a question. Does anybody know how to get my doc back? Chat, there it is. Hey, okay, I got chat back. Could even work in NASA with a computer bug. Bucky's, it's BUC dash EES, right? I think. Bucky's. You like the different bugs on each nail idea? Genius activity in the chat, yeah. My vote is the only one that matters. I'm driving this bus. Beep, beep, motherfuckers. I mean, I feel like there's not a single clear winner. They're all pretty darn close except for the termites. Nobody's interested in termites. Why do you hate termites? Yeah, BUCEES. Oh, I forgot the apostrophe. Molly, welcome. I got the Texans coming out of the woodwork to make sure the shit's spelled correctly. Yeah, but Buc-ee's has other stuff. They're not just a gas station, okay? They got merch. They got Buc-ee's merch. You know it's not just a gas station when they got merch. It's special. All right, okay. So I feel like I kind of want to do all the bugs. Best bathrooms in the state. Y'all. All right. Sound off in the chat. Yay or nay. I'm not going to poll. Yay or nay to doing all the bugs. Doing one nail per the 4 options. It's like Wawa's in the Northeast. Wawa's is weird for me because there's a town in Northern Ontario called Wawa. And I didn't hear about Wawa's, the gas station, until long after I'd been to Wawa, the town. Hold on a second. I'm about to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. I'm really glad that I get the heads up when I'm about to sneeze because my goodness. Jamie Dodgers kind of came back, but she's not in the proper place. She's just down there. wanting to know why she hasn't been fed. Okay. All right, y'all. The people have spoken. We're going to do all of it. Now, we need a base color. We need a base color. So I'm thinking one of these effects polishes for the base color. And then I'm just going to rearrange shit so that anybody who has already yelled which one they think I should do is screwed if they did it by position. Yeah, she left. All right. So, 10:02. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or Gior. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or the Gior. I can't put that many things on a poll, so y'all just gotta tell me which one you want. I think the Gior was supposed to be a thermal, and it was like already dead or close to dead when I got it, and I was fairly new to indies at the time, and I didn't say anything about it. But it's a really pretty color. Got a couple of votes for 1. The Gior looks like it had flakes that tarnished. Maybe. Maybe a little bit. It's hard to tell because it definitely had thermal pigment that went off, so. All right, well, 2, 4, and 1 are tied. And Gior also is tied with all of those. So 1, 2, 4, and the Gior are all tied. That's 3 votes for the Gior. Done. Ah. All right. She came back in. Hi, what are you doing? You can't come up on my lap right now, little one. Do you want to get behind me? She's like she's not being helpful. It is pretty. It's definitely going to have to build up a bit. We'll see how it looks in 2 coats. It might be nice to have it slightly sheer for the background. Throw in tomatoes. There will be no throwing of tomatoes. Jimmy Dodgers. The spawn is in bed. Welcome, cat. All right. We're just getting started because we spent a lot of time talking about the various options for tonight. Jamie, what you need, little girl? What you need? What did you put on yourself? What is that? You got something on your tail. You got some kind of schmutz on you. She got schmutz on her tail. Your cat likes to sit on your lap and bite your wrists while you're doing your nails. That sounds awful. I mean, it sounds adorable, but it also sounds awful. Oh, I might as well do my other hand while I'm here. Give me one more vote for either 1, 2, or 4. You're going to have to remember what they were. I'm not showing you again. Where'd she go? Did she leave again? I don't know. She's behind me. 2. All right. I think that was this one. Might not have been. I think it was. And if it wasn't, oh well. It's my stream. Linry's here. She said that I'm allowed. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, I love doing my other hand on stream, let me tell you. It always goes exactly perfect. Jammy Dodgers, what's happening? Yeah, you don't need to be on my lap right now, baby girl. I don't know why she's doing this. She doesn't usually do this. Not while I'm streaming anyway. Hang on, I'm having a hair issue. Ah! Shit. Okay, Jammy, you're not helping. No. Trying to do this immediately after I just painted this thumb is like not at all asking for problems. Yeah. My hair is getting too long again. Jammy does not want to help. Jammy wants to hinder. Jammy wants to help herself. Yes, Jammy, you're a very good girl. You've put some of your fur up here, so that's nice. Okay. First coat down. Living on the edge, exactly. I'm always living on the edge. Baby girl, just go lie down. Please do not be a problem, child. Yeah, this might... I don't know. I don't mind it being a little bit sheer. I don't know. Are we going to want a third coat or do we like it like that? I'm not mad at it. Let's see how it looks on the rest. It is possible that it had a little bit of metallic flake tarnish. It's got a little bit of that quality that what's that Holo Taco that went real bad? It turned into watery crud. I don't remember what this one originally was supposed to look like, so I don't know. But it's kind of got a nice kind of... I'm not mad at it. Cold Shoulder, yeah, that's the one. How old is my kitty? That one is 16. I have 2 sisters, Jammy and Budgie, that are 16. And I have a Calico, who is, I think, like 4-ish. She moved in with us from the streets as a young adult cat. So we're not sure exactly how old she is. And then we have a kitten who's 8 months or so, maybe 9 months. Timony Cricket. He's a tabby. We adopted him from a local shelter. But Jammy and Budgie, I've had them since they were just teensy babies. Yes, they're old enough to drive. But the problem is their little legs can't reach the pedals. That's the issue. They need some kind of an assistance device to help them drive, I think. I'm probably not going to do nail art on my other hand, just FYI. I just wanted to have some polish on it. And I figured it would give me a little bit of drying time for the other hand if I also was doing this hand. Plus, it's a real pretty polish. So, this was the first one I ever got from 1002 Nails. You can see that the formula is pretty nice on it. I like the brush and everything. No complaints about any of the 1002 Nails ones I've gotten so far. She has some real pretty ones. So if you've been eyeballing her stuff and you've been on the fence, I would say go ahead, take the leap. It's good shit, and she's really nice. Hashtag not sponsored. I have purchased everything I've got from her. I have no relationship with the brand. I've just had a couple of brief conversations with her, and she's been very sweet. Your cat is 18 and it's constant with him. Jammy's been like this since the day she was born. She is the cat that for most of her life has wanted me to carry her either in my hoodie or in a like a baby sling. She's actually gotten, oh shit, I just fucked up that nail. She's actually gotten a little bit less needy as she gets older. I think it's harder for her to, she has real bad arthritis. So she likes to be more in charge of the snuggle. She still wants to snuggle all the time, but she doesn't want to be compressed as much as she used to. She used to love being compressed. I would tuck her into my hoodie and zip her in, and that was like, I would, basically do all my chores that way. I would cook and whatever with her like that, because otherwise she would never leave me alone. But now she'll like go off and sleep by herself. Nearby though. She always wants to be close by. She doesn't want to be quite as squished as she used to. You spy a tail? There's a water fountain just around that corner. So she's probably getting herself a drink. That's where Brian's office is. And they've got a water fountain right there, and then they've got a water bowl in the bedroom, and then they've got the one sink faucet is like always dripping a little bit in the master bath, because that's Budgie's preferred way to drink water. Your older kitty used to dislike attention from you, but now she is so stinking needy. That's cute, though. I think I do want to do a third coat here. I like it a little better on the thumb because the thumb has a press-on that's making it a little bit more opaque looking. My nail line isn't as obvious on the thumb as it is on the other nails. 'Cause I broke it, which is very annoying. Especially since I have a buttload of swatching to do. There's a hair here. There's more than one hair here. What the hell, man? I'm blaming a cat for this one. It's always a cat's fault. Let go. Thank you. Yeah, that's a little better. I don't mind if it's a little sheer, but I do like to have decent build-up at least. And then, as usual, we're going to top coat before we do this, before we move on to the nail art. And then I got to figure out exactly what I'm going to do for all of them. So I'm thinking maybe like a little orbital path diagram for Katherine Johnson. And then like the obvious choices for the other ones are going to be a bee or an ant, a mite or a tick, and then a termite. Jamie, are you going to jump back up? Yeah? What you think? Can y'all hear the crickets? I finally got crickets that are alive. What's you gonna do? What's you gonna do? It took 3 tries, and still half of them were dead on the last semi-successful. So I got a partial refund on that. But my goodness, the poor company spent a bloody fortune trying to get me my dang crickets. Crickets are not expensive in themselves, but shipping them sure can be. It seems like she's going to settle down on the thing over here. So let me just arrange the camera better. Oof. Yeah, I just dinged my nail. Gonna have to restart my index nail. Look at this. Look what I did here. It's like a really majestic ding. There's no going back from that ding. That's a you have to start over ding. I think. Yeah, definitely, especially with something this sheer. Yeah, so I finally have the lovely sound of crickets again, and everybody got fed. They were all very hungry, I think. Certainly they snatched their crickets up, I'll tell you that much. They went quickly after them. Yeah, it's a dang ding if I ever saw one. That is the way to put it. It's a really, I haven't done one quite that intense for a good while. So we're gonna have to, this one's gonna be lagging a little bit because I'm gonna have to build up those coats again, and if I go too fast, then y'all know what's gonna happen. So we will just work on other nails. The other question is, do I want to leave the thumb as is, or do I want to like just write something like Black History Month? Do I want to include the people's names on their individual nails, which is challenging but not impossible? Do I want to put all of their names on the thumbnail? You never smack your hands on things until you do your nails? Yeah, exactly. It never fails. All right, we start from the ground up again, which means first peely base. And get rid of this cat hair. Initials, maybe? 4-hour stream. You never know. Let's hope it's not a 4-hour stream. Lettering is not that bad. Initials would work. I kind of feel like I want to do at least first and last name, or like at least the full surname. Surname might be a good way to do it. Sophie's surname is long, though. I can't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head, but it's long. But I can do it. All right, ciao for now, Allie. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, it's like it's 9 o'clock and we're really just getting started, so that bodes super well for a short stream. But yeah, I could just do like their names on the thumb. That's a good question. Do I do Catherine's maiden name or her married name? And for the other women as well, were they... I think Lutterlow is her... I don't know of a... I might have to double check and see if that is her married name or her maiden name. Same with Margaret Collins. I can double check both of those. Figure numbers, and then in the caption put the figures to the name. Y'all don't have faith in my ability to write real small letters, do you? Her NASA papers are published under her maiden name or her married name. Yeah, it makes sense to me to do the married name if that's what they're published under. You don't wish lettering on anyone? I don't mind doing lettering. It's not a problem. Number and name on thumb, and then it's like a citation on a research paper. That's kind of a cute idea. Do a long-ass equation. I would want it to be like a reasonable equation that made sense, though. Okay, if I'm going to do their surnames, then I want to make sure that Lutterlow is... if I'm going to do their surnames on the thumb, I want Lutterlow nearer to the center so that I have more space. So Turner is pretty short. Collins is reasonably short. Johnson is reasonably short. It's really just Lutterlow that's the problem. Yeah. Yeah, it's doable. It's totally doable, y'all. It's totally doable. Okay. Should I use cracked crinkled linens for the lettering? Or should I go with Midnight Phase or Chinoto? Either dark to hopefully contrast or super pale to contrast. CJ's name on the moon. KJ. A rocket taking off and the exhaust is an equation. That's you're trying to hurt me. You think dark? I think either one of these colors would look nice. Blue? Okay, we can do the blue. It seems like a nice option. Let me get my first coat of the Dior on, and then I will start the lettering with the longest one. Yeah, and then you overcorrected, Sassy. Okay, letter low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the R is going to be in the center. Where's my nano? Where's my nano? Where's my nano? Here it is. I bought myself a new nano. This is not it. This is my old nano. But I did buy myself a new nano. Old nano is still working for now, but I feel like it's just a matter of time. Okay, so the R is in the middle. Oh boy. First thing I do is jam the brush against it. Okay. We have a successful R. We have liftoff, maybe? Oh. Oh. You. The harder part for me with lettering is not slanting too much. I have a hard time making it be in a straight line. G. Gee whiz. Got a little thick at the top there. I'm gonna have to do a tiny bit of cleanup. I have like a cat hair on here. What a shock. What a shock that I should have a cat hair on there. All right. We have an R. Did you post your Manny, Sassy? I did not see it. I saw that you were... This is the one that's using the stamping plate, right? It's really... The stamps are super cute for it. It's all like a mom themed stamping plate. So there's like, you know, silhouettes of pregnant people and like babies and cute stuff. You're posting it now? Okay. All right, let's get a little thinner added here. Okay. And now we gotta get to the other end. This is where I have to be careful not to make a spelling mistake because I'll be lettering backwards. So we go E. I think Discord just informed me that that the Manny has been posted. Sassy's Manny. TT. I like, part of what I like about having their names on here is that I feel like part of the erasure of the efforts of Black scientists and artists and all kinds of other, you know, people in our society at all levels, is losing their names. You know, all kinds of things get named after people. White people love to name shit after other white people, and we have a tendency to not name stuff after Black people who have made the same kinds of contributions. And so I like having their names here. I think it's important. I made that U a little bit too wide, so I was going to have trouble with the L that comes before it. So I feel like, yeah, I don't know. It feels more important to have the actual names on the Manny, not just in the caption. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of those t-shirts. I don't know if y'all have seen the t-shirts that are like, you know, people's names, and it's just like usually just bold white text on a black background or black text on a white background. They've been done for bands, they've been done for scientists, they've been done for all kinds of things. But yeah. I feel like despite putting the R down first, I managed to cramp the word a little bit to one side, but at least we got it all on there. I don't think it looks too bad. Yeah, especially Black women, Kat, you're absolutely right. All right, let me see what got posted on Discord here. Oh, Najwa, thank you for posting. Thank you for posting that stream started. I totally meant to do that. Where did you post, Miss Sassy? Did you post? I am checking Manny Museum here. There we are. Okay, Manny for your doula meetup. Oh my gosh, that is cute. I really like this. This is really pretty. Is that a thermal that you have for the one? Is that a thermal or a solar? Okay, I'm gonna save this image and I'm gonna, whoops. SAS1 on desktop. Hello, Maymay. Save image. SAS2. All right. So let me open these up. in Safari. And then we will attempt to get it into here. There we go. All right. Here is Sassy's one manicure, which is super cute. So is the silhouette solar or thermal? It's a thermal. Okay. You fed Bebe and the black and white cat. Oh, babies. And then the other one, the other hand, is this one here. Because of cat and dog momness. Does it say my kids have paws? It's very cute. All right. Back to work. Back to work. We got Lutterlow. Let's move along. There's more photos of those Mannies in the Discord. She put them in the other Discord though, not in mine. So bum 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 bum. Let's do Johnson next. I think since Katherine Johnson used her married name professionally, we'll use her married name here. And she is Johnnson. J-O-H. So the N's going to be in the center. I think we've learned that this is not actually the center, but it's close enough. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't have to be totally perfect, right? Oh, I need to get my second coat on my index nail as well. Yeah, that was a Lantern and Wren plate, was it? I think I remember you saying it was a Lantern and Wren plate. I only have a couple of Lantern and Wren plates, but they're pretty good, the ones that I have. Need some thinner here. Lantern and Wren Mom Life. All right. So if anybody needs a cute mom-related plate, one to check out. That loaded up a bit too much. Ah, my arm slipped slightly. We need an H here. And an O. I used to struggle a lot more with lettering, but I actually got a little better at it after watching oh gosh, what is her name? She works with Holo Taco. She does a lot of hand lettered nail art. Why have I forgotten her name? Gosh. Someone here has got to know it. She recently did some like fuck ice nails that got a little bit of attention. Who we got still? We got Turner and Collins. Hey Salto, thank you. Yes. So yeah, I started actually like really paying attention to her videos and sort of watched her technique, and it was very helpful. Just sort of paying attention to like how she forms the letters themselves, but also how she works out the spacing. Like not trying to do a full curve, not trying to like, for instance, instead of painting an O like this, which has your brush going all kinds of different ways, she'll like do a little bit that way and a little bit this way, and then like, do the curves the way that it makes sense to do them for how the brush wants to move. And you just get better results that way. So I started paying attention to that, and like, man, my S's got so much more readable after that. In particular, that letter I really struggled with. Sounds like a Hey Salto, but haven't been paying attention to her? Yeah. Well, you haven't really been on Instagram a whole lot at all lately. But yeah, Hey Salto does a lot of really good hand lettered stuff. I aspire to get to her level of hand lettering. But getting better. Definitely takes not just practice, but thought, which is of course something that I always really struggle with on streams. The brain does not like to kick in on streams, but that's okay. I thinned this enough that the letters on this side are slightly lighter than the letters on the other side. Turner, and then I got to decide whether I have more space for Collins on the top or on the bottom, because I did not space it correctly. I think I'll do Collins on the bottom. You go in with the vertical lines and then do the horizontal. Hey, Salto could write a thesis on her nails. Yeah, for real. Yeah, that's true. She does put stuff on YouTube as well. All right, Collins, Collins. So it's gonna have a L in the middle. Oh boy. Which side do I have more space on? They're about the same. I fear. We're going to go on top. We're doing our best, and that's all we can do. Yeah, I used to really struggle with making my S's look even vaguely like S's. They're much better now. I really shouldn't have put that L quite that far away. I'm gonna redo that one. Didn't give myself quite enough space. And I keep forgetting to put the second coat on my index while I'm in between names here. But all right, we'll go slightly closer. Yeah, I feel like I usually do the horizontal or the verticals first and then the horizontals, but not necessarily always. I think it depends on the letter and also what I'm doing around it. Okay. And now I'm just going to put an underline. Just so that it doesn't look like I left that space on purpose. I mean, so that it looks like I left that space on purpose. You know what I mean. You have horrible kerning. Hey, Sonia, welcome. You prefer stamping and tracing your letters and numbers? Yeah, I just don't have... I've never found a lettering stamp that I really liked the look of, is my biggest problem. The horizontal first helps you keep things mildly even. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's get my second coat on my index here. And then we can move on. So the index is going to be Collins, who is the termite lady. So it's going to be Collins, so termites, and then space stuff, because I put Johnson second. And then this one's going to be mites / ticks. And then that one's going to be the ants and bees guy. All right, so, oof. Sabi's lettering stamp is nice. I don't remember what hers looks like. Lettering plate. Yeah, I knew what you meant. My brain read it correctly, but my mouth said what you wrote, even though I understood it. Okay, termites. I have a pretty decent idea of what termites look like, but let me just make sure. Yeah, you're weird little guys. All right. That's what I thought. Okay. Do we want to do... Do we want to do kind of realistic-ish coloration, which for termites is going to be like this kind of color story? Probably, right? It does mean we're going to be using a lot of very samey colors. Although, you know, with bees, there's an opportunity to bring in some blue. Yeah, manuscript. I should check her. Yeah, okay. I should check her lettering plates. I kind of vaguely recall seeing that she was coming out with one, but for the most part, I haven't really been buying plates because I feel like I have a lot of plates, and I tend to do more hand painting most of the time. I mean, when I want a plate, there's definitely like there's a use case for it. It's not like I never stamp. I definitely stamp sometimes. So, yeah, I don't know. Wait. Hang on. Collins is the termite lady. That's the one that's going on my index. I don't want to be doing that one yet. That's going to end up being the last one. The second one is Johnson. This is space. Lutterlow is Lutterlow is the termite lady. Hang on. Which one's which? Jesus Christ. Lutterlow is Tix. Lutterlow is Tix. Oh my God. She was the elevator operator who ended up being just like incredibly influential in the Tix and Akarai. Okay. So, what do we want? Maybe we should do mites instead of ticks because they're a little bit cuter, I think. All right. So for mites, I'm going to be doing more a slightly reddish brown and this orangey kind of color. All right, we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. Lutterlow, this nail here gets mites on it. Should we do more than one kind of mite? Maybe. That would be cute, maybe. Or I could just do one great big mite. I personally feel like mites are kind of cute, but I acknowledge that not everyone feels this way. They do look... Well, I mean, they look like bugs, so not everyone likes that. I get it. Not everyone is here for the bugs. And that's okay. I'm here for the bugs. Bunch of mites. Mites taking the elevator. Oh my God. That would be so funny. Wait, I could do like an old-timey elevator thingy above the mite's head. Why can I never center anything on my nails? What is my problem? Okay, mites got back. That's one thing you need to know about mites. They got back. I did manage to go a little bit outside where I wanted to be here. There we go. Oh, I think I just saw, yeah, hang on. Oh my goodness. I just saw this, this long, mostly dead thermal very slightly shift in one spot. I'm trying with alcohol to get it to shift. You can kind of almost see it on the tip. Y'all see that? Y'all see that itty bitty bit of blue-ish, sort of, at the tip? It's not all the way dead. Mites are basically all back. Yeah, pretty much. Amazing. Amazing. It's not 100% dead. It's just 99% dead. It can still bite your ankles. If you get that reference, I love you. All right. Let's see here. You remember what ear mites and demo decks look like? Yeah. Yeah. Y'all's faces are covered in mites. I'm adding a little bit of pink to kind of slightly reddish it up a bit. It's not going to be obviously actually red, but kind of at least get it a little bit redder for this part. All right, and then we need some yeller. We need some yeller, but it's going to be a little bit too... Well, do I need a little bit of white in this as well? I might need a little white. I'm so glad that I have this cracked linen, because trying to do these manis without white might be challenging. The linen is not quite white. It's like very slightly off white. If you see it next to a bright white, you can tell that it's like not quite there. But yeah, it's a nice color for when you want something that is a little bit less stark than a full white. Doesn't matter so much for mixing. For mixing, you can kind of do either one, really. All right, we do some little pedipalps, because just like spiders and other arachnids, Mite's got pedipalps. And then we get long leggies in the front. They got some long leggies. Back leggies, not quite as long. These leggies are going to go all the way off the nail. Middle leggies, also not so long. We're not going to go super detailed with these tonight either. I'm going to kind of keep it fairly simple. But, you know, there's a limit to how simple I'm capable of making things. I do like to overcomplicate my shit. You'll know how I am. All right. One more leggy. It's not dead, just subtle. I mean, it was always going to be subtle, but it was basically DOA, so it was not supposed to be this subtle. Yeah, any hint of red on a green background makes it look a lot more reddish. Yay, color theory. We love color theory. And we are absolutely taking advantage of it tonight, although I did not plan it with that in mind. Y'all know I don't plan things. We do not believe in planning around here. It is against my religion. Okay. I want to thin this slightly. I just want to try and get a little bit of a sort of more reasonable contour happening here. There we go. Alrighty. I'm going to keep it simple, she says, painting individual leg hairs on a fucking mite. Peggy, come on. What are you doing? It's going to look better if I give it just a tiny little bit of texture, though. It will. It will look better. I promise. All right, we're also going to do just a little bit of contouring on the booty. All right, good enough. We're going to call that a mite. I think it's kind of a cute mite. Yeah, cat snore. Cat snore always. Cat snore always. All right, I'm going to give you a cat break. Speaking of cats, a little Jammy Dodgers break. I'm going to put the third coat on my index now. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hopefully y'all can't hear that too loudly. Okay, so that's Lutterlow. Now, Turner was the dude with the bees and ants, and Johnson is the lady in space. So, let's do ants. Maybe a little line of ants. That could be cute. Could do a little line of ants across my nail. I think for ants, I think what I want to do is mix a bit of brown with a bit of blue to try and get sort of desaturated kind of darkerish, brownish kind of, but like less, you know, less reddish than the brown is typically. Might have gone just a touch too far there. Bring back a little bit of brown. I wonder if I maybe want to use the darker midnight blue. Where is that? It's just a little lighter than I want. That was way more than I intended to put down. That's okay. We don't have to take all of it. Kind of trying to just like darken and slightly desaturate the brown. I don't have a black polish that is eligible for this project. And most ants aren't, even the ones that look black aren't actually like necessarily all the way black, depending on the lighting you see them in. So that looks better. I guess we'll go back to the nails. All right, we're going to do a little line of ants on my pinky with this color that I've just mixed up. Using brown, two different browns and two different blues. Peggy, you know what ants look like. Are you sure you know what ants look like? I mean, I know you know what ants look like. But just to be absolutely certain. Because it would be real embarrassing if I fucked up what ants look like. I'll tell you that much. How sad would that be? Everyone would laugh at me. Pathetic. Okay. There's the little middle section. And then the big behind. And then a little head. And then I'm going to try and go real skinny on these legs. Oh, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to do. I'll tell you that much. Itty bitty legs. And remember how I always tell y'all when we're dealing with spiders, that you gotta be careful about where the legs get placed, because they don't necessarily come out where you expect them to. With ants, they all are attached to that middle section, which is actually the same place as it is in spiders, except that in spiders, the middle section and the head are fused together. So it's harder to tell. But bug in general, legs never come out the butt. The legs don't come out the butt. They don't come out the butt on anything except kind of humans. And even with humans, it's an illusion. They don't really come out the butt. It just kind of appears like they do, because our tailwind got truncated. And it's got them long antennae. You gotta go to bed? Yeah. We've run a little bit late tonight. Not too much. We're still sort of within the regular time frame, but we're definitely gonna go past the standard 2 hours here, for sure. Partly because I took so dang long yapping, figuring out what I'm even gonna do here. I just thinned this too much. That's fine. We're going to take a moment on that. I will top coat my index while that evaporates a tiny little bit. So I'm thinking, I mentioned it in my Discord, in the Vexed Varmints Discord, that I think I'm going to add a day, and we did a little poll in there, and the collective decision was that that Tuesday afternoons would be best for that. So I think I will start that this week. Trying to get this focused a little bit better. Yeah, I think I'll start that this week with a new stream. I don't know if I'll necessarily do it every week, and I don't know what I will be doing. It may be a combination. I may end up doing some like collection organization, swatch, like cabochons, things like that. For this month, I think I definitely want to do at least a couple of nail art streams, because oh boy, there's a lot of stuff to do nail art for, and I have so many things that I want to do, and also so many things that I need to do, and not enough Thursdays. So yeah. So I decided it would make sense to just add some extra streams, because I am absolutely, there was no question that I was going to do Black History Month Mani. I would like to be able to do an Olympics Mani. I would like to I should probably do a Valentine's Mani. I definitely have to do something for my birthday. And then there's also like a launch near the end of the month for a collection. So I'm like, there's too many things. There's too many things. There was some other, what was the other thing that that was suggested in the Discord? I can't recall. I feel like there was another thing that was suggested in the Discord. You're glad you're on the western side of the country? Yeah. Yeah, there's no optimal time zone, you know? Like there's always somebody's going to not be able to make it. So you kind of just, I think the thing that I've figured out is that I quite simply have to do it when it works for me. So Thursday evenings are great for me. And I think Tuesday afternoons will work well for me as well. Okay, I'm only fitting 2 ants on there, but I think that's pretty decent. They look like ants to me. So we got 2 tiny ants, 1 rather large mite. And then, oh boy, I just noticed I managed to get I flooded a little bit here with my top coat. Okay. So I want to let this one dry a little bit more before I do art on top of it, but we can do this one, which is Katherine Johnson. So this is the one that is going to have like the orbit thing. Maybe I should do like the moon with like a little rocket ship like slingshotting around it. I feel like that's simple enough to be a thing I can do. I have white, I have gray, a very pale gray, and I have this darker grayish tone that I just mixed up with the brown and blue. So I think that can work. Okay. So how do I want to do the moon? Do I want to just paint it? I don't really have a sufficiently large dotting tool to do that, so let's just paint it. Let's just paint a perfect circle. No problem. It's going to be so easy. We could do this in our sleep. Perfect circle? Sure. Especially live on stream. No trouble. I'm for sure not going to get it a little bit lopsided on one side and then have to expand it a little bit and then expand it a little bit in a different area and then go back to the first area and expand it again some more and get into the death loop. For sure not. That's not going to happen. It's already happening, y'all. It's already happening. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Jammy is over there snorting. I assume she's rearranging herself. It doesn't have to be totally perfect, Peggy. It can just be good enough, right? Right? Yeah. It can just be good enough. It's fine. It gets bigger and bigger. It always happens. Yeah, eventually can't fit the slingshot. That would be just the way, wouldn't it? Okay, let me add a little bit of thinner to this again. That was way more than I needed, but that's okay. Because it'll be fine for it to be a little bit. What does the moon look like, y'all? Does anyone know what the moon looks like? Anybody ever seen the moon? Yeah. Poor husband in the other room. Like, what the fuck is she talking about? How does she not know what the moon looks like? It's the problem when you marry an astrophysicist. They look at you like you're a crazy person if you can't name all the stars or whatever. Or you think that something might be a planet, but it's obviously a star. He's very patient with me, but it's true that I'm not good at this sort of thing. I want you to be a little bit thinner. I want you to be thinner. Be thinner. Thank you. mean, it doesn't need to like look exactly like the moon. It just needs to resemble a moon-like object. It's fine. It's fine, Peggy. It's fine. Okay. I think we're gonna call it like there. We're gonna call it there. Perfect. The moon isn't perfectly round? Exactly. Looks like cheese. Just draw a big old Swiss. Perfect. No notes. All right, let's do a little rocket shippy. Just like a little space shuttle. Space shuttle from memory. This should go well. I know what a space shuttle looks like. Let's see. We're going to put the shuttle on this side. Anyone can draw a space shuttle from memory, right? We all know what that thing looks like. It kind of looks like a... Never mind. Never mind. I think those parts fall off. But that's okay. You know, it doesn't need to be... Apparently it doesn't need to be to scale either. I just made it way too big. I'm actually going to dial it back a little bit. Listen, we just won't show Brian this many and everything will be fine. How's he going to know? How's he going to know how badly I messed up the space shuttle? It's fine. Okay. And then we'll add some little I don't know, some little markings on it maybe. Those seem like markings that would be on a space shuttle, I think. And then we need our little line, our little it's shaped like that for a reason. Yeah. Things falling off happens with age. Y'all. Okay. Yeah, we'll just are you thin enough? No, you're gonna need to get thinned slightly, aren't you? Yeah, you're just gonna get goopy on me if I try and use you like that. Oh, Colette is playing Hades 2. My phone just notified me. My husband has played. I don't think he finished it. He was playing it, but then he got involved in some other game. Okay, so I think we want like a dotted line, right? Like a little dashed line to sort of indicate that it's a path that it's following. Oh God. All right, we're gonna have to clean that up a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. It's fine. It's perfect. We'll do a tiny bit of cleanup. It will help. I feel like that kind of gets the idea across at least, you know? . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . I think it works to get the idea across. I'll just clean that up a little bit. And we got a couple of spots here where it went a little bit weirdly wide. They're more like blobs than like dashes. We don't want that. There we go. Yeah. Eat dinner and watch Colette play Hades too. Has Brian heard of the Kerbal space game? You build your own rockets and try to land. Brian, have you heard of the Kerbal space game where you build your own rockets and try to land them?
Yes, I have.
Have you played it?
No.
Why haven't you played it? Is it because...
I'm not sure what platforms it's available on.
Ah, okay. Well, you should find out.
PC game?
Sometimes there's Apple versions, though. He's aware of it, but he hasn't played it. Okay, last one is going to be Collins. Collins is the termite lady. That is her nickname. So, termites. I had already looked up an image of a termite. You've emerged with mochi donuts. That sounds delicious. Here, I'm actually going to give you Jammy Dodgers for a moment. And I'm going to turn off the mic, and I'm just going to blow my nose real quick. It will help if I turn the mic back on. It's hilarious. Well, we'll have to see if there's an Apple version available. Termites. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing a termite. I already have my yellow down, which is going to be the primary color for the body. Where's my termite pictures here? I had grabbed some reference images already. Almost impossible, but that's why it's fun. Yeah, I can see why that would be the ridiculously entertaining part of it. All right, let's see. I think we'll have this one a little bit at an angle. Oh, you are absolutely not thinned enough. It was so dry that the little bit of thinner I added was insufficient. Okay. Ah. It always makes me a little bit worried when I can hear my camera refocusing while I'm doing stuff, because I'm like, are you focusing on something stupid or are you doing the correct thing? And you just never know. This EM jelly is really cute. I like the cracked jellies for nail art. I'm not generally a big jelly wearer when it comes to just like, just wearing polish on its own. I don't typically choose a jelly for that. Not that I wear just nail polish without nail art super frequently anyway. But, sorry, I managed to apply a hair to my nail with my brush as I was trying to clean up. So that was good. Okay. Not really a hair, a fuzz. But yeah, so I don't know how they are for like just wearing because I haven't just worn them. But I certainly really like them for nail art. Okay, this is going to be the body. So this is the big booty. And this is the like torso equivalent. And then Budgie? No, we have, this is Jammy. I was confused for a second. I thought maybe Budgie had come in. All right. And then this, we're going to... This is a big-headed termite. We're actually going to make it so that he's turned his head this way a little bit so that I can more easily fit his little jaws on here. I really should have made his booty a little smaller, but whatever. Y'all know I don't plan. I don't plan. I'm not going to start planning now. I'm just not a planner. Okay, now let's get in here with some detail. I want to add some yam. I want to add a little bit of this hot pink. Again, this is just to slightly redden it up a little bit. Need a little more yellow in there. There, that's better. Try and sort of give it a little bit of contour here. Okay. And then we need some leggies. We're gonna need some leggies. And once again, where the leggies come out of. I know y'all know this. Leggies come out of the torse. I need more yellow. What's planning? Yeah, we don't know her. Okay. I love how I went to do a Black History Month Mani and still ended up somehow managing to make it about bugs. It's very typical, I think. Typical Peggy behavior. But you know, I think if you're connecting things in history to things that you personally find value in, then you're more likely to remember them and care about them. Uh-oh, I'm gonna sneeze again. Oh my goodness. I swear if I'm getting sick, I'm gonna be so mad. And if I am, it's because of the food bank. It's the one place where I go and spend a bunch of time and don't mask up. There's no rule prohibiting masking for the volunteers, but it feels weird to me to be masked when I'm volunteering at the food bank. It feels like, I don't know, because it's not a regular customer service role, right? Like, I'm not getting paid to be there. I'm there to help people out. And it feels like it puts distance where I don't really want there to be distance. I think that's what it is. So I haven't been masking when I'm working my food bank shifts. And like, it's not like there's a huge number of people in there most of the time. But, you know, we will get 50 to 100 people through there during one of my shifts. So I probably should mask up, but yeah, it just feels wrong. New keycaps. What kind of keycaps did you get? I'm guessing that they're adorable and probably pink or purple. Like lavender. Yeah, that's exactly it, bow and arrow. I feel like I feel like it makes it seem like I'm trying not to, you know, associate with them or something. Like I'm worried they are diseased when really I'm just like, no, humans in general, influenza, COVID, etc. Like it's not about that, but it feels like it could be interpreted that way, and so I don't want to make anyone feel like that. And maybe it's silly, maybe nobody would, but yeah, I don't want to make anyone feel othered for just needing a little bit of fucking help in this, the year of our Lord. Get fucked. Jesus. All right. Vaporeon and Mew. Oh my goodness. Cute. Cute. I assume there will be photos in your Discord when you have them attached and ready. I don't know why I'm trying to put all this extra detail in here. It doesn't need it. And like, I didn't do that with the other ones. So it's fine. It's fine. It looks like a fucking termite. So it's fine. Mission accomplished. We did it. Wear a shirt about vaccinations or something, and then your stance seems more clear. I don't own any shirts about vaccinations. All my shirts are either about bugs or have political statements that I need to avoid while I'm working. Yeah, that's basically them. You're going to open them on stream tomorrow? Cute. Okay. All right, I think this is done. I think we're ready for some smudge free. Yeah, I'm excited to see them. I've never gotten into the whole like custom keyboard thing myself. I stopped using a PC so many years ago, and that wasn't really a thing back then. But I really like some of the cool stuff that people do. And I like how much like modding and DIY stuff is happening in that space. It's really cool to see people like making their own like resin keycaps and stuff like that. I think that's cool. It's almost enough to make me want a PC, but not quite. Just live vicariously through my stepdaughter. She has, I don't know if she has custom keycaps, but she has a really cute. This light's dead on me. She has a really cute keyboard that's like got all the fancy lighting and everything. Anybody here who knows my stepdaughter, she has a small business, so there's a bunch of people here that are familiar with her stuff. But would not be surprised to know that her entire desk setup is pink and lavender and completely adorable. In fact, her entire little home office is just like cute shit and Pokemon, basically. You have replacement caps. You wore through one of the keys and it bugged you, so you replaced it. Yeah. You could be one of the cool kids, Najwa. All right. We'll just let these dry a little bit, and then I'll do my regular top coat, and then that's going to be it. So, I don't know. I think it actually came out cuter than I expected. The thumb is less than perfect, but it is legible. And I think the nails are kind of cute. And hopefully we all learned something. And also we got to enjoy Jammy Dodgers. Dammy Dodgers. Hello? Cat's up, please. There she is. That's my baby. My baby girl. Jammy Dodgers. That's a good girl. What a cutie. Oh, see, that's a good baby cat. Yeah. Oh, okay. There. She got some pets. Yeah, and it was, well, I mean, we went 20 minutes over on stream, but I didn't start painting until at least half an hour in, right? I think it was something like half hour in before we even decided on the base color. So that's cool. Made pretty decent time. Did not write any long ass equations in the smoke from a rocket launch, but that's okay. I think it's still cute. Yeah, she has to clean the human stink off her now. She got touched by a human. She loves being touched by her human, but she does not like the human stink it leaves. Should these be matte? What do you think? Matte or glossy? Matte will show off the art better. Glossy might work better for the flakes in the background. I don't know. I do think matte could be fun. I mean, it doesn't have any like hollow or anything that the matte would destroy. Yeah, it might be easier to read. I mean, it probably would be easier to read because then I don't have to worry about glare. It's challenging to take photos of any kind of detailed nail art if it's glossy. Jamie licking herself, such a good girl. So good at cleaning herself. Let it go, baby. Okay. Yeah. Where's my mat? Here's my mat. Let's do it. Are you dry enough? I think you're dry enough. I can't wait till this freaking thumbnail grows out and I can take off this stupid press on. It's very annoying. I have a press on my pinky as well, still from the previous break. It's been on there for what, 2 weeks or something, I think, since I broke that one. It'll happen in time. I'll be able to take it off. Probably shorten everybody down a little bit too when I do that. Not a ton, but usually when I have to take off a press on that I'm wearing for a repair, I find it usually looks nicer if I give everything a little bit of a trim back and reshape. Yeah, it's been bad for breaks. Ooh, we're drying slow. It's kind of cold in here, so it's drying very, very slowly. But it is drying. Yeah, it's been bad for breaks, but my thumb, you can see the break there. And the pinky was a little shorter than the thumb is now when it broke. So it's coming along, but still be a little while before I can take that press on off. Because with almonds, you need to wait until the center part is sort of at a minimum length before you can start to shape the sides in. I mean, it's winter for you, right? Everybody gets more nail breaks in the wintertime. It's dry, it's cold, your nails get more brittle. It's a thing. Oh, you broke a nail today too, Mei Mei? That sucks. Oof. I accidentally just kicked my light. Yeah, oil your nails. I mean, I oil constantly. But like the air is so dry that it's sort of it's tough to keep up. All right, we're slowly mattifying here. It's almost all the way matte now. Still got a little bit of a. I'll leave it a little bit before I do my photos. Let it dry down a little more, but it's pretty good. Pretty good. I am especially pleased with how the termite came out, actually. I think that's decent. Better than I would have expected for a termite. I've never painted a termite before. Your skin hates the weather? Oh, me too. I have I get these like real bad mostly on my upper arms. I get a kind of eczema that's called discoid eczema, and it's deeply unpleasant, and it's basically just like little coin shaped, anywhere in size from a dime to a silver dollar. That's just like real rashy and itchy as heck, and it's awful. And I'll get them all over my upper arms in the wintertime. Just the upper arms. That's it. I don't know, just these weird little patches, but and the only thing that helps is constantly drenching my upper arms in moisturizer, and even then it's like it's not gonna completely keep it away. It just minimizes it a bit. And then in the summertime, I get a different kind of eczema on my hands and feet, on the palms of my hands and in between my fingers mostly, and in between my toes. And that's from too much humidity. So I'm getting it on both ends. I need to live somewhere that's like the perfect humidity and temperature at all times. That would be great. The problem is that place exists, but everybody else wants to live there too, and most people are shitty, and I don't want to live there. I'm speaking, of course, of California. Everybody wants to live there, and I don't want to live where everyone's living. So that's it for that. All right, my skeleton and I are done. My nails are cute. My other nails are also cute. This one that we put on my other hand I don't think I told you the name. It's 1002 Nails Deeper into the Unknown. I don't know if that one is still available, but if you don't have any 1002 nails yet, they have some really cute ones, and the formula is good. And you can see opaque in two coats, even with being applied with my other hand that's not very good at application. No patchiness or anything. It's really good. And then, of course, here the base was this Gior. It was a polished pickup from like 2022, so you're not going to be able to get that base. But the crumbs and jellies that I used for the nail art were all from Cracked, and Cracked is awesome. Yeah. I hope that you all had fun and learned something maybe, and thank you for hanging out with me and helping me pick my design. This came out cute, and it's different and nicer than I expected, and that is so often the case when I rely on chat. So I appreciate all of you. Don't forget to do all the things with the buttons, and tell your friends about the hippo, and we'll see you maybe Tuesday if you come, Tuesday afternoon. I think it's going to be like 2 or 3 o'clock. I'll figure out the time closer to, but certainly Tuesday afternoon. And we'll do some nail art. I don't know which. We might do the Olympics nail art. We'll see.